So welcome to this lecture series on environment and ecology presented by Mentors for IAS in association with Bangalore IAS Academy and Namak APSC. So in this particular video, we will briefly discuss about the National Action Plan for Climate Change, the Indian Network on Climate Change Assessment, as well as India's intended nationally determined contributions. So first is your National Action Plan for Climate Change. Now, the National Action Plan for Climate Change was actually launched on 30th of June 2008 by the Prime Minister's Council on Climate Change to promote developmental objectives while also yielding co-benefits for addressing climate change effectively. The implementation of this particular plan would be through appropriate institutional mechanisms suited for the effective delivery of each individual mission's objective and will include public-private partnerships as well as civil society action. So the focus will be on promoting the understanding of climate change, adaptation and mitigation along with energy efficiency and natural resource conservation. So what is important is that under this National Action Plan for Climate Change, there are 8 national missions which form the core of the National Action Plan. So here it is important that we briefly go through the different or the 8 missions under the National Action Plan, which is actually important for the examination or from the examination point of view. So the first mission that we will be discussing about is the National Solar Mission. Now, when it comes to the National Solar Mission, great importance has been given to this particular mission under the National Action Plan for Climate Change. The objective of the mission of this particular mission is to increase the share of solar energy in the total energy mix of the country, while also expanding the scope of other renewable sources. So this particular mission, that is the National Solar Mission, also calls for the launch of research and development programs that with the help of international cooperation would look into creating more cost-effective, sustainable and convenient solar power systems in the country. The National Action Plan for Climate Change sets the solar mission a target of delivering 80% coverage for all low temperature applications of solar energy in urban areas, industries and commercial establishments, as well as a target of 60% coverage for medium temperature applications. This is for medium temperature applications. Low temperature application is less than 150 degrees Celsius, whereas medium temperature application is 150 to 250 degree Celsius. This is for medium temperature application. So the National Action Plan for Climate Change, apart from this, also sets the target of 1000 megawatt per annum of photovoltaic production from integrated facilities. It also sets a target of 1000 megawatt per annum of photovoltaic production through integrated facilities concentrating on solar power generation capacity. This is nothing but your National Solar Mission, nothing but to improve and encourage the production of energy or electricity by making use of solar energy, nothing but your solar power. Next is your National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency. Now, see, obviously the government is promoting for more energy efficiency. Apart from that, the National Action Plan for Climate Change, under this, through the National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency, provides for mandating specific energy consumption decrease in large energy consuming industries, nothing but trying to reduce the energy consumption in large energy consuming industries, as well as creating a framework to certify excess energy savings along with market based mechanisms to trade these savings. So this calls for innovative measures to make energy efficient appliances or products in certain sectors more affordable. So this is nothing but the National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency. This could also be through public-private partnership. Okay, next is your National Mission on Sustainable Habitat. Now, the aim of this particular mission is to make habitats more sustainable through a threefold approach that includes improvements in energy efficiency of buildings in residential and commercial sector, improvements in energy efficiency of buildings in residential and commercial sector, management of municipal solid waste, and to promote urban public transport This is part of your National Mission on Sustainable Habitat. Next is your National Water Mission. The National Water Mission aims at conserving water, minimizing wastage, and ensuring more equitable distribution through integrated water resource management. The Water Mission will develop a framework to increase the water use efficiency by 20%. So this calls for strategies to tackle variability in rainfall and river flows, such as enhancing surface and underground water storage, rainwater harvesting, and more efficient irrigation systems like sprinklers or drip irrigation. This is part of your National Water Mission. Next is your National Mission on National Mission for Sustaining the Himalayan Ecosystem. So this plan actually calls for empowering local communities, especially panchayats, to play a greater role in managing ecological resources. It also reaffirms the following measures mentioned in the National Environment Policy. So what are these following measures under the National Environment Policy? The most important are adopting appropriate land use pattern. The best practices for infrastructure construction in mountain regions. Cultivation of traditional crops. Sustainable tourism, and appropriate protection strategies to support and protect the Himalayan ecosystem. Next is your National Mission for Green India. Now, this mission aims at enhancing ecosystem services such as carbon sinks. So, this builds on the Prime Minister's Green India campaign for afforestation of 6 million hectares and the national target of increasing land area under forest cover from 23% to 33%. So, it is said to be implemented on degraded forest land through joint forest management committees, nothing but your JFMCs, joint forest management committees set up under the state departments of forests. Then there is the National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. The aim of the National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture is to make Indian agriculture more resilient to climate change by identifying new varieties of crops, especially thermal resistant ones, and alternative cropping patterns. So this is to be supported by integration of traditional knowledge and practical systems, information technology, biotechnology, as well as the new credit and insurance mechanisms. So this is part of your National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. Finally, there is the National Mission on Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. National Mission on Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. This mission strives to work with the global community in research and technology development and collaboration through a variety of mechanisms. In addition, through a variety of mechanisms to promote this agenda of developing a network of dedicated climate change related institutions and universities. Nothing but to set up a network of dedicated climate change related institutions and universities along with a climate research fund. You can just make a note of this. A climate research fund will be established under the Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. So these 8 national missions will be institutionalized. These 8 missions will be institutionalized by the respective ministries and will be organized through intersectoral groups, including, in addition to related ministries, the Ministry of Finance and the Planning Commission that was earlier. But however, since the Planning Commission is no longer there, this role of the Planning Commission may be taken up by the Niti Aayog. Apart from this, the civil society will also be included. Okay, so next is your intended nationally determined contributions. Okay, now here, as I've mentioned, countries across the globe have actually committed to create a new international climate agreement by the conclusion of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change Conference of the Conference of Parties, the 21st Conference of Parties in Paris. So this is part of your Paris Climate Change Agreement. So in preparation, that is, we've already discussed the UNFCCC in the previous video. So in connection to that, countries have actually agreed to publicly outline what post 2020 climate actions they intend to take under a new international agreement known as their intended nationally determined contributions. The INDC will largely determine whether the world will be able to achieve the ambitious 2015 agreement and to put the world toward a low carbon climate resilient future. So here we will be briefly discussing about the intended nationally determined contributions as was determined by India. So what are the salient features of India's intended nationally determined contributions? Now, the salient features are: 1. To put forward and further propagate a healthy and sustainable way of living based on traditions and values of conservation and moderation. 2. To adopt a climate friendly and a cleaner path than the one followed until now by others at a corresponding level of economic development. 3. To reduce the emissions intensity of its GDP by 33 to 35% by 2030 from 2005 level. 4. To achieve about 40% cumulative electric power installed capacity from non-fossil fuel based energy resources by 2030 with the help of transfer of technology and low cost international finance, including the Green Climate Fund, which I had mentioned in the previous video. 5th, to create an additional carbon sink of 2.5 to 3 billion tons of carbon dioxide equivalent through additional forest and tree cover by the year 2030. 6th, to better adapt to climate change by enhancing investments in development programs in sectors vulnerable to climate change, particularly agriculture, water resources, Himalayan region, coastal regions, health and disaster management. Seventh, to mobilize domestic and new and additional funds for developed countries to implement the above mitigation and adaptation actions in view of the resources required and the resource gap. Finally, the eighth point, to build capacities, to build capacities create the domestic framework and the international architecture for quick diffusion of cutting edge climate technology in India. So these are the salient features of India's intended national determined contributions. The important points I have mentioned here in the slide. So if not all the points that I have mentioned, please remember these important points that I have mentioned in the slide. These are very important. Next, apart from the salient features that I have already mentioned, there are certain key elements over here with respect to the intended nationally determined contributions. Okay, so India's intended national determined contributions center around the country's policies and programs. So these are the various points that briefly cover this. So what do you understand by sustainable lifestyles? This is nothing but to put forward and further propagate a healthy and sustainable way of living based on traditions and values of conservation and moderation, which I had already mentioned. Cleaner economic development. This is to adopt a climate friendly and a cleaner path than the one followed until now, also which I had mentioned. Now, reducing emission intensity of gross domestic product. This was with respect to that 33 to 35% by 2030 from the 2005 level. Increasing the share of non-fossil fuel based electricity. This was with respect to the 40% cumulative electric power installed capacity from the non-fossil fuel based energy resources by 2030. Then enhancing carbon sinks. This was with respect to creating that 2.5 to 3 billion tons of carbon dioxide equivalent through additional forest and tree cover by 2030. Adaptation. This was nothing but to better adapt to climate change by enhancing investments in development programs, which was with respect to the vulnerable sectors such as agriculture and water resources. Finally, we have mobilizing finance. This was nothing but to mobilize domestic and international funds through various architectures by establishing this for resource mobilization. And finally, technology transfer and capacity building, which is nothing but to build capacities, create domestic framework and international architecture for the quick diffusion of cutting edge climate technology. So here these salient features will have to be included with the key elements here will have to be as integrated with the salient features which I had already mentioned in the previous slide. So this covers up the intended nationally determined contributions of India with respect to what we had agreed in order to reduce carbon emissions or the emission of greenhouse gases, especially carbon dioxide. Okay. Next is the Indian network on climate change assessment. Now this is a very small concept. I will not go too deep into this particular one. Now what I wanted to mention about the INCCA or the Indian Network on Climate Change Assessment is that this particular network on climate change assessment was launched in 2009 by the Ministry of Environment and Forests. It was launched in 2009 by the Ministry of Environment and Forests in an effort to promote domestic research on climate change and build on the country's climate change expertise. So INCCA is nothing but a network based program of the Ministry of Environment and Forests, which consists of over 120 institutions and over 250 scientists countrywide, aiming to bring in more science based policy making on assessing this climate change and how to mitigate this particular problem that we have discussed about in earlier videos. So basically, this is nothing but a network based on scientific program which is designed to address and assess the drivers and implications of climate change through scientific research, climate change assessments on various aspects of climate change, associated vulnerabilities and adaptation, devise decision support systems, and build capacity towards management of climate change related risks and opportunities. So the Indian Network on Climate Change Assessment will carry out the research on effects of climate change in different regions and sectors in India and suggest suitable adaptation and mitigation steps. So I hope by now you've understood the basic objective of INCCA, which is nothing but to have an independent body of Indian scientists who could prepare scientific reports at the domestic level about the impact of climate change on various sectors, which can give a real picture and influence the world debate. The important point over here is that the reports prepared by INCCA will form a part of India's national communication to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So with this, we will end our discussion about INDC, INCCA as well as the National Action Plan for Climate Change. So once again, this is nothing but a brief recap. I want you as a part of homework to also read more about these and cover current affairs so your understanding is more thorough. It is only when you include current affairs, your understanding will be comprehensive. So thank you for watching this video. If you do have any doubts, please do write to us in the comment section. Please do follow and subscribe us for more such videos.